Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another session of Afrolynk Expert Live. My name is Julia, and I'm happy to welcome Rey Buckman from BizLab and Tofara Chokera from Factory24. Hi, guys. Good evening.
Hi.
Good evening. How
are you? Rey, you work at Airbus BizLab. Can you briefly introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit more about what BizLab does exactly, and what the hashtag Africa for Future means in a practical sense.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. It's great to be back at Afrolynk, now virtually. Been a few times at the conference, and it's a different format, but I really love the work that you guys are doing. So Airbus BizLab is an accelerator. It's the global aerospace accelerator where we speed up the transformation from ideas to businesses. And this is applicable to external ventures, so startups that apply to be part of our program, as well as internal innovation projects that we are bringing through the program and into commercial success. And about, I think now 3 years ago, 2017, is where we started hashtag Africa for Future. It's not only a hashtag, it is actually a program in itself. And the objective of Africa for Future is to promote technology partnerships between African startups and Airbus.
Okay. Tofara, you are, where are you located?
I am in Zimbabwe.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, like you have said, my name is Tofara Chokera, and I'm an IT engineer by profession. And you know what? I'm an IT engineer, but I started holding a computer at university. Would you believe it? So I started seeing a computer and holding a computer at university, and now I am someone who is into IT, and I am so proud of it because I have to really work hard to be where I am. So I am the founder of an organization called Tofara Online. It's a digital marketing and innovation consulting trust. And our main aim is to empower women and young people in business to embrace technology and digital marketing. And I am also proud to be a lead in Factory24. And I'm sure tonight, I'm going to be talking more about the Factory24, how I joined it, and where we are now. So basically, in a nutshell, that is Tofara, and I'll be talking more about Factory24 tonight.
Thank you very much. Our theme, or our motto for today, our theme for today's conversation is opportunities in data and data literacy. Rey, where do you see Africa in comparison with Europe when it comes to digital skill set and data literacy?
That's a huge question. So let me maybe first, I think there are different understandings of what data is and different sets of data. So what I'm mainly referring to, and what is the main reference in the work that we do with Africa for Future, it is related to Earth observation data, very particular. So Earth observation data is data from that is generated from satellites. So most people are in contact with it when you are on Google Maps and you click satellite street view. This is, oh, sorry, no, not satellite view. This is basically an image from the sky. So, but there's a lot more use cases that you can do and that you can apply when you use Earth observation data. So we started this program specifically because we see that there's a lot of opportunities to use these type of data, analytics on these data. So a lot of startups actually in Africa and in Europe, they have a lot of experience on using other image data like drone images or other images that are taken on the ground. So there's some of these skills, but then when it comes to satellite images and analytics of satellite images, and in terms of data, we see that there's still a lot to learn, and this is not for me only applicable to African entrepreneurs or African founders and African university scholars and so on. This is as well in Europe. Although there's only few, let's say, African countries that have the full infrastructure to use satellite images. So this, I guess, is where maybe some of the European countries are a little bit ahead, and there's a lot more research going on at universities. But from the opportunities itself, I mean, it's vast on both sides of the Mediterranean Sea.
So it's also saying that there has to be an improvement in learning, in giving further information and teaching the skill sets. And there we come to Factory24, because Factory24, how do you work and what is so unique about Factory24, Tofara?
Okay, Factory24 is an e-learning platform that was developed by Afrolynk, a German-based organization. But basically, this platform was developed for Africans, people in Africa, to come and learn more about skills, entrepreneurship skills, directing, and also emerging technologies. So basically, Factory24 is there to empower the women and the young people in Africa to know that there is an opportunity for them to gain tech-based skills which are required for now and the future. So what makes Factory24 different is, if you notice, the curriculum which is being made or which is being gone through or done at universities or colleges in Africa, it does not change. Look at some of us. We did our IT degrees in some back then in 2003, but the children who are going through university now, they are still using the same curriculum. And to tell you the truth, that curriculum is just there and it's not equipping the young people for the future. You know, if some things don't change in curriculums, which means the product which is coming from universities is actually geared for maybe looking for employment, but they don't have the practical knowledge on what they are really doing. So you will find that Factory24 comes into play because it's bringing in the skill that is not there anyway. For example, we've got the entrepreneurship training. Most of the people in Africa are just going to school so that they get employed. Yes, it's good to be employed, but are there jobs in Africa? No, there are not jobs. So Factory24 is teaching the children who are coming from university or who have been out of university and they are not employed to say, you know what, you can actually start your own thing and be an entrepreneur and solve problems in Africa. So you will find that we have also partnered with big organizations like IBM, which is where there is IBM Digital Nation Africa, and also Microsoft for Africa, where as Factory24, the partnership is helping people to learn tech-based skills for free, you know, and they just have to maybe pay for certification after. So Factory24 is bridging the gap between the Africans and the entrepreneur, the skills that are needed in the future or the skills that are needed now. Look at what COVID has done, and most people had to rely on technology, and most people had to rely on entrepreneurship using also the resources that is there. So Factory24 is actually bridging the gap between the skills that we have in Africa and the skills that are needed for the future.
So you said it already, skills, knowledge and skill set. And Ray, there's a question coming that is, which knowledge or skill set is required in order to be able to harness the opportunity that comes with the access to the data? So it's one thing that we actually have the access, but what skill sets do people need to be able to also harness on that?
Yes, I think this question connects very well with what Tofara just talked about, because I think what the work of Factory24 and other organizations is very broad. So it's targeting basically every university student or anyone that is at a certain age and that wants to start something, want to earn money with something. yeah, which what we call then entrepreneurial activities, and that might lead to the creation of a company and then further this growth. So this is for me this very, very broad skill set that actually, even if you don't want to start a company, if you want to be employed in a company, but still you need these entrepreneurial skills that are helping you to not only have ideas but actually implement ideas and make a business out of it. So for me, this very broad skills are needed and applicable to everyone. But then I think where I mainly focus on is then more like almost like a niche of a skill. So a very, very particular skill set that you need in a certain industry. And here I think we have the mix of technology skill. So you need to understand certain technologies. You need to understand how they function. To a certain level, you also need to understand the background of these technologies. And on the other hand, you need to have knowledge in an industry, in a sector. You know, for example, the analysis of a satellite image can be done for a lot of different sectors, for a lot of different what we call verticals. So when you want to do the analysis of a satellite image for agriculture, you also need to have knowledge of agronomists, because for example, with a satellite image, you can measure the level of nitrogen, which is one nutrient in the soil, which is important for plant growth. But in order to understand how does the level of nitrogen affect the growth of a certain crop, you need to have this agronomist knowledge. And I think this is one of the big challenges that we are seeing, is that after you have developed a broad skill set of digital literacy, of entrepreneurial knowledge and so on, then how do you bring in very specific technical knowledge and very specific industrial knowledge or industry specific knowledge in order to create a product, in order to create a new service? And this applies, I think, to a lot of different sectors as well. When you want to work in fashion, you need to understand something about the technology of textiles, as well as you need to understand how does fashion work? What are the colors of the season? And I'm not a fashion guy, so I'm not so much into it. But again, you are bringing them together, technology or other technologies and industry knowledge. So I think this is where then the complexity comes, and where really I think where if you have acquired yourself in a certain industry or in a certain technology, deep knowledge is where you can set yourself apart from the rest of the group. Just stayed on basic knowledge, basically.
It's a very, very insightful. It's very, very true, actually. It's Tofara, you have a long experience as a leader in the digital sector, and what challenges did you see, or did you have? Did you have support along the way, and what is, as of today, I would say, your main achievement, or one of the big achievements that you've had during your career?
Oh, okay. So, back in Africa here, it's really difficult to convince people that technology is there to solve problems. So I still remember when I started digital marketing training, and also telling people that they have to embrace technology in their businesses, like what you were saying. It took me time to get people coming and trusting that technology is the in thing, and us as Africans, we need to actually embrace it. So since it's my passion to equip people, especially women, on tech skills, I have to push harder when it comes to telling people that you need to really embrace technology, so that you won't be booted out of business or booted out of career opportunities, right? So through Factory24, we had to make sure that people rely on e-learning. It's something which was very new. People are used to sitting on desks and going to school, or maybe colleges, to gain entrepreneurship skills or any other tech-based skills. So we had to make them rely on Factory24. And I still remember when I was introduced to Factory24, personally, I thought that this was an opportunity which was coming and which was not going to be fruitful in any way, because some people who are in Europe, they can bring in opportunities or things that look like lucrative and they don't bring value at all. So I had to go through the trainings myself on Factory24 just to understand what really is it all about, Factory24. Then after that, I had to sell the product to the people. For example, I told you I'm into digital marketing, and the people I was teaching, they couldn't yield results, why? And when I went through the training, especially the entrepreneurship training in Factory24, I realized that people in Africa are just waking up and starting small businesses, and they don't even know how to run a proper business because they don't have the basics of entrepreneurship skills. So that on its own made it possible for me to convince people to say, you know what, guys, we really need to use Factory24 and gain the skill, because the content which is there is easy to understand, and also it's very simple for even someone who doesn't have a tech background. So we had challenges, yes, when we started, because people didn't have internet access, and sometimes it was actually costly for people to use it to do the training. So what I did is I went back to Afrolynk and said, you know what, guys, I've got a lot of students that want to learn, but most of them cannot access the internet. And I asked if they can give us the content so that we have some feedback sessions on WhatsApp twice a week, and the take-up was really good. So Afrolynk, regardless of the challenges that we had of internet access, was there to provide us with the content that they had uploaded on Factory24. And also, they were there to mentor us as, like me, when I started, I was the only facilitator, and they were there to give me advice on how best we can make sure that we impact more communities. And right now, we have achieved so many things, including the recent graduates. We now have a mentorship program for them, and also we are mentored by people who are recognized internationally. So to me, the challenges that we had them, but we were getting help from Afrolink. And recently, with the COVID thing, the incomes went down, but even if the incomes went down, we needed internet access. So as an organization, we went and said, you know what, we want to train. We've got students that we are training online via Factory24. We went to a big organization called Econet in Zimbabwe. It's a telecom company which provides internet access and also access to mobile phones. So we went there and told them, you know what, we need affordable internet access to our students, because we cannot train anyone in this situation. So they gave us subsidized data bundles, and everyone of the students right now is happy. So all the challenges that we are meeting, at least we are finding big organizations like Econet, Afrolink to support us back in Africa here. So really, we are so grateful. Yeah.
That's actually a great initiative, and I think that this is also a thing that we've been speaking about earlier. Is Ray, the connectivity issues, as one of the biggest challenges on the African continent, and especially in this digital era. How can we ensure that connectivity reaches also the rural areas, and no one of the young people is actually left behind?
Another big question. Let's see if I have big answers. So first of all, maybe before starting, I wanted to share how I experienced it also in the program that we are doing. So, our program has always been a mix of virtual and physical. So some of the connectivity issues we could overcome because we were sure at one point we will meet. Because connectivity is on the basic level, yes, that we can speak to each other and that we can see each other, but connectivity is also building trust and really understanding the others. So on this part, we were always sure that at one point we will meet. But this year, because of the pandemic, we were forced to go a fully virtual program. So now we had to make sure that everyone can actually join the sessions that we are doing. And we had to make sure that the connections are done in a way that we can actually build trust among the participants, among the cohort, but also with us and the people that we are bringing in. So one thing we did, and this is something that I really learned in this program, is that we actually made sure that some of the program budget is dedicated to internet access. So I think this is the first thing that I learned from this activity now, is that when you're running such programs, when you're trying to build these skill capability buildings across certain regions, you need to account for budget, either from yourself or through an organization, how like Tofara has explained it with Econet, that they were able to bring in to cover some of these challenges and some of these costs. This is, I think, the first thing that I learned for myself. So when you are, how can you deal with these issues, is you need to plan for them. You cannot assume that that everybody has access in the same way. Now, related to your question, like how can we solve this more in the long term? I think the expansion of mobile connectivity is linked to is finding the balance between on the one hand deploying mobile towers, or even in our case what we are also looking at is satellite connectivity for Internet of Things for devices. And balancing this, we want it everywhere, but at the same time it also has a cost associated with it. So this, I think, is the main balance, where not a single player can solve it, but actually this is where we need to have a multi-stakeholder approach, where we need to have the large companies involved, where we have governmental institution, non-governmental institution, multilateral institutions involved. And now I think more for this audience is also where entrepreneurs play an incredibly important role, because entrepreneurs need to vocalize to their communities, but also this community is not only the customers that they are serving, but their community is also involving the policymakers. So they need to vocalize to the policymakers what do they need in order for their businesses to thrive. And definitely digital skills, or also connectivity, are some key features. So I'm not so sure if there's something like entrepreneur preferred access to co-working spaces where some of these connectivity issues can be solved, collectively. But these could be actually policies that entrepreneurs could ask for their policymakers in their specific regions.
Thank you very much. So we speak about the connectivity issues, and we also, you said it before, Tofara, that there is learning online was a struggle in the beginning. But what do you think what impact has Factory24 had in terms of being a digital platform on the continent right now?
Factory24 brought in huge impact. I think the very first thing I have to talk about is the presence in 10 countries, and we are still growing. And you will find that recently we had an interesting country, Mozambique. Most of the people in Mozambique don't speak English, they only understand Portuguese. And the impact which we have done there was as a result of one of our facilitators actually translating the content. So the impact is really broad in 10 countries, like what I've said. And so far we have trained 3,500, in fact it's over 3,500 students, because we have classes which finished recently on entrepreneurship, and also 300 have certified, and we noticed business growth through the trainings that we did. I just want to talk a little bit on the entrepreneurship training that we did. I noticed that, like what I spoke in the beginning, that people are just getting into business without the basic knowledge. So on Factory24 entrepreneurship program, you will find that the first topics are talking about people doing businesses first when they know what is called human status design, producing products that are needed by your customers or your potential customers. People don't know that. People are just making products, and they're just selling them at losses because they are not solving needs. They are not taking time to understand their customers. So with this entrepreneurship training, you will find that people note their mistakes. Once they start the training, they note their mistakes. When they're making products they like themselves, they go out and ask people where they can improve. And that on its own has actually made people grow their businesses. And we have seen people actually creating a job for one person or two people in their organization. And to me, it's real success. That is huge impact. We also have a lady who was into catering. She's called Tsitsi. She's into catering, and she also noticed that, you know what, the formal hotel industry is employing people who are certified or who have degrees in being chefs. And what does she do after doing our class? She went back and said, you know what, guys, I've noticed that there is a gap in our communities. There are women who are sitting around, they don't have food for their children. So she's now training them to become good cooks, and she certifies them as chefs, and she hires them out, she employs them. And at the end of the day, you'll find that communities are being empowered and people are managing to send their children at school. They're managing to put the basic food on the table. So the impact of Factory24 really in our communities is very vast. We also have developed what we call developer communities, where we have people doing tech development, for example, the chatbot development. And these communities are in 4 countries at the moment. We have Ghana, we've got Nigeria, we've got South Africa, and also Zimbabwe. And this is also being made possible by the IBM Digital Nation Africa. And I'm also proud that I've got a badge in artificial intelligence and Internet of Things through IBM. So these developer communities are making a huge impact in our communities. We are not having these skills in universities like what I said before, but Factory24 is coming and showing us that, you know what, you can gain a skill by even not pumping out a lot of money, but the basic internet access that we were talking about. That is what is making impact in our communities. Then we also have facilitators. We trained a lot of people on Factory24, but at the end of the trainings, we give them an opportunity to earn money as well. Like we said, the trainings are free, but the people have to certify. And facilitators, they earn from certification. To me, it's job creation. People are sitting at home and looking for opportunities or looking for jobs, but they can actually work from home by just facilitating courses which are on Factory24. So that has impacted a lot of people. Currently, we have in Zimbabwe, we have got 12 facilitators. Then across Africa, we have got almost 28 facilitators who are running on Factory24. So that on its own is showing that Factory24 has brought impact in our communities. People are aiming from home. People are making sure that at least their communities are empowered. Then the biggest impact is women are the majority. I'm a woman. I love women and I love empowering women. So women are the majority, and we are taking Africa to the next level because of Factory24. So yeah, that is the impact so far that we have done, and we are really working towards having more impact in our communities.
That's Ray. What do you say about that?
Wow, you're fantastic. It's fantastic work. I mean, I love the not only the numbers that you provide, but I love the impact in the communities. I love how that, because you are working with the entrepreneurs that are coming from the communities and they're thinking about the problems in their own communities, and then and they find solutions to that. But not only they find one-time fixes, but they actually build businesses around these problems that they solved on a small scale, and then from there they can develop bigger scale. So I really love this. It's almost like, when you were talking, I was thinking about grassroots movements, like where you work so much with the communities, and
Yes.
at the same time you're also using bringing this entrepreneurial, empowerment and agenda to it. So yeah, I love it.
I want to quickly welcome some of our viewers. Simangazu from watching live from South Africa. Hi everyone, greetings from Berlin, from Lola. We have Rutendo, who is also, she has benefited through being a facilitator after graduating from Factory24. And Kumbira is saying Factory24 empowering communities. And the work you're doing is amazing. I've had the honor to join on some to have a small sneak peek. Ray, we try to, and we do that, we want to look post-COVID time. We don't want to, we are in a time where we're going to go to a new life. What opportunities do you envisage for startups currently and post-COVID in data and data literacy?
So I think that the first impact is of COVID itself, right? I think where we see also COVID, there it even puts another extreme on the startups. So we're the startups that were coming out of COVID. I would love to have an eye now onto the, like, you know, a glass bowl where I can see which are the startups that are coming out, because I would invest into them right now. Because the startups that are coming through COVID are the really strong ones, are the ones that have figured out a great business model, and that were able to protect their cash in these times, and that were, you know, because it's also a lot of uncertainty. We actually don't know how long and how this situation will go. So this is the first thing we will see. The startups that are coming out of COVID, they will have incredibly strong growth right after COVID. And not only because all the competitors are gone, but also because they proved themselves to be very, very crisis resilient. Now, in terms of when you ask me what are concrete businesses or what are concrete ideas that are related to data, or let's say, software and data and so on, I think one is what we see, everyone that is, you know, able to build a business that is not only based on physical face-to-face interactions, but if you're able to engage your customers, your suppliers, also through virtual and digital platforms, this is already, I think, something really great. So this can apply to any business, because actually a lot of businesses need to build a digital infrastructure into their operations. But this is, I think, the first one. So either a startup that is providing these infrastructures, or if you are a startup that is having you know, services where you are having a shop and you need to sell to the people, now building the digital marketplaces and so on, or being present in digital marketplaces, I think is the first thing that we will see developing. And also, I think in these times, to stay connected with your customers, to stay connected with your investors, I think we all face the fact that as we are, I mean, at the one hand, we are at home and we cannot travel anymore, and we might have more time at home, but then also at home, we are facing other challenges, because childcare is closed, schools are closed, maybe some of the, you know, we cannot buy everything so easily. So we're actually faced with a lot of challenges also here at our house. So if you are able in this situation, nevertheless, to build really good relationship through the digital infrastructures with your key stakeholders, this is, I think, another element that we are seeing to come out of this crisis. And then maybe something not so much data related, but I think very much company culture related, is that what we are also seeing is different ways of working. You know, some people connect now in the morning and in the late night, because during the day they have to shuffle other priorities. Or sometimes actually you cannot be with all your coworkers in the office at the same time. So now you need to leave notes behind for them to work while you are doing something else at home. So also, you know, this is, I think, another outcome that we see, but I see it very positively, because it opens up so many more opportunities now as we are learning to be connected with our coworkers and in our teams virtually. So this is, I understand, it's not so much related to this last point. It's not so much related to to a new business itself, but it's related to the operations and to the culture that we're having at our companies. And then I would say, as a final point, and this is again, I think, coming back to the program that we are running as well, within Africa for Future, it's very much based on on building partnerships, building collaboration. As you are not able to go to every place anymore in the same way as you did before, now you need to build a collaboration with somebody that is already there. So this is, I think, giving us an opportunity to think differently about scaling. In the past, we say, okay, I will scale, so I will open up this new opportunity. But now it would be, okay, how can I build a partnership with somebody that is already there? And how can I collaborate with this person? And this person opening up the opportunity for me. And then in return, I'm also providing something.
Mm-hmm. Tofara, you mentioned it before. You also have your own company. How have you prevailed and continue to serve your customers during this time? Because we heard of what we have to do, what ideas we have, but how were you practically seen able to provide your services for them more?
Okay, so the pandemic made the use of technology go on a rise. That's a fact. And so many people who didn't want to go online with their businesses actually came and said, you know what, we now want to learn. So for us, it was an advantage. I cannot say an advantage as such, but it actually brought us more customers, more students, even on Factory24 sites. People now realize that they have to learn online, they have to embrace technology. How can they do it? They didn't have the knowledge. So we saw a rise in the use of technology and also the rise of people now wanting to know more about how can technology help us in this situation where we are stuck at home, but we really need income. And we have prevailed. And I also spoke about the outcry of data, which was there just because people had to go online. And we are happy. Econet made our lives easier. It gave us the data bundles that our students need, and they had continuous access. So in the month of May, we had more than 200 students actually benefiting from these subsidized data bundles from Econet. And also, what we did for us to prevail in this situation is we told our students and our recent graduates to say, you know what, now is the time to look at what is really needed on the ground. For example, we told them you now have, if you're into textile industry, you now need to start making masks which are reusable and which are cheaper for people to use. And you'll find that most people resorted to making masks and sanitizers, selling them online, and also this made a huge impact in their revenues. So sometimes we have to grasp opportunities where there is a crisis. Yes, COVID hit everyone, no one was prepared for it. But as it came and as we met the challenges, we had to quickly actually look for solutions to make sure that we survive during this time. And we also have organizations like Zimtrade, which in Zimbabwe, that is, which was actually promoting products which are being made by people in this pandemic. For example, people who are making masks and people who are making art. We've got a graduate who is into art. He actually paints things and tells a story. And we have got photographers who would tell a story about COVID in this era. So Zimtrade actually asked us for profiles of our students and entrepreneurs so that they at least show their stories out there and show that in as much as we are in a crisis, but as Africans, we are trying to make a living in the crisis, and also we are trying to make sure that everyone stays safe and putting our stories out there. So it was indeed a tough time, but as Africans, so far we are sailing through. We are just encouraging people to stay safe. Where they don't need to go, they have to just stay indoors. So yeah, that is how we are surviving at the moment.
It's actually, I think also that we're seeing a lot of new opportunities happening for us, for everyone. And how would you say, Ray, could startups interpret the raw data and make it useful for themselves?
You were breaking up. Could you come again, please?
I'm sorry. I said we spoke a lot about data and new opportunities. How do you think that people or startup companies especially would make use out of the raw data? How can they do that?
I think this is related to what I was talking to at the very beginning. It is a set of data. So let's say an image itself is nothing. You need to know what you want to do with the image. So I think this is then also related to what Tofara was talking about. Is you actually need to be solving a problem. You need to have understood the problem before you come up with your solution. And some people start building solution without knowing what problem they are solving. So this is, I think, where what Tofara was also mentioning is people building products or selling products without having understood that there's actually somebody that wants this product, and that product is also solving a problem for this person or for this group. So I think this is the first thing to do is to understand the customer or the user that you're serving and understand their problem. And from there, you can then look, is a specific data set, like an image or something else, actually providing me the insights? Can I get this information from this image in order to provide the right service to my customer? So I think this is a very crucial message. Crucial learning across all entrepreneurial activities. The first point of an entrepreneurial activity is understanding the problem that you're solving, and not coming from the point of what can my data do, because the one data can take you in a lot of different directions. But first, you need to understand what problem you are solving. So this is always when I talk with entrepreneurs, when I talk with technology innovators, I always ask them, what are you passionate about? What is the problem that you are trying to solve? And from that moment on, we can then discuss, okay, how can specific data sets help you solve these problems?
Ray, you've been part of our Afrolynk conferences, of our network for many years. You said it in the very beginning. What do you think, or where do you think organizations like Afrolynk and corporates can bring the best possible support for startup companies?
Okay. So let me start maybe by, also preaching or doing what I'm preaching. So what is the problem that Afrolynk is solving, right? I think Afrolynk is, first of all, solving the issue of connecting. There are entrepreneurs that have something, and there are corporates that have something, and there are a lot of other people that are also joining the Afrolynk conference. But let me leave them for now aside. Let me just focus on these two parts: the entrepreneur and the corporate. Why does actually corporate innovation happen so much? It is because corporates have been or are created to solve problems at scale, and they do this very efficiently because they over and over do the same processes, and that's what that makes them very, very efficient to solve a certain problem. And they need to run like a very, very good machine in this sense. But entrepreneurs, they are coming from a different perspective. They are coming from new problem sets, and for these new problem sets, we don't know the solution yet. We might have not even fully understood the problem, but by the entrepreneurial skill, or what the entrepreneur is then employing, is the entrepreneur is in search for finding a solution that is repeatable and that is scalable. And after some time, the entrepreneur will also evolve into the same routines that a corporate is facing. So I think at this intersection, right, where the corporate knows or has the resources to solve problems at scale, and then having the entrepreneurs that are on the journey of finding new problems and solving these new problems, they have a lot to learn from each other. And this is, I think, where Afrolynk comes in, where Afrolynk brings a platform to bring these two stakeholders together. And that's why I keep coming back to Afrolynk, because every time I'm exchanging either with people from Afrolynk, from people from the network, or at the conference, just randomly meeting new people, this is where I'm most interested in, like, meeting this intersection.
Tofara, I remember you joined us last year in the conference.
Yes, yes.
What opportunities and what potential collaborations do you see with corporates and organizations, both in Africa and Europe, ever since you've made this experience? What do you see is there a key also for the post-COVID time?
Okay. So I think the collaborations and opportunities, we need to start talking about them now and in preparation for the post-COVID, because the opportunities which are being brought by Afrolink and Factory24, they are real. Like what you said, I attended the Afrolink conference last year, and it was really as a result of the impact that we had made back home in Africa. And to me, it was a gap where I was shown the other side. It was my first time in Europe, and being linked with experts in our line of business, in our line of what we want to go, or where we want to go with Factory24. To me, it was an opportunity that I would think it should be experienced by every African. So what we are looking for collaborations. What are the days when we used to compete with colleges just because we're an e-learning platform, we want to compete with this college? No, we want collaborations with universities and colleges to make sure that we impact the students with skills on Factory24 and prepare the younger generation for the future. That is the main thing that my passion is on, and focusing on the vision of Factory24, like what I spoke about, being a gap, like a bridge between the gap, which is there already. So we want to prepare the younger generation for the future. So if we collaborate with universities, we will know that as soon as they leave the college or the university, they have got a skill to survive. Even if they are not to get any employment, they will definitely create employment on their own. So these collaborations are what we are looking for. And also, we are looking for funding on scholarships or scholarships on the Factory24 courses. Like what I said, most of our courses, people have to certify for them to experience the opportunities which come with Afrolink. For example, we have got opportunities for mentorship. We've got opportunities for people putting their products on our marketplace, the AfroPlus marketplace. We also have opportunities of being linked. When you're in Africa, you can link by someone who is in Germany or who is in any other European country, and you can get the skills that you need to grow your business. So those opportunities, or even going to the Afrolink conference on its own, is an opportunity that every graduate can actually have. But some of the people, they can just go through the training, but they don't have the funds to certify so that they enjoy those opportunities. I believe all business growths come through mentorship. They come through having an expert guiding you. So I would like to say, I would like every person that we train to have an opportunity to actually enjoy the opportunities which Factory24 in Afrolink is bringing in. And I would like to thank Afrolink, because you know what, in Zimbabwe we have an organization or a big board called the Zimbabwe Youth Council. We actually went there and told them we want to train entrepreneurs in Zimbabwe, so that they at least get something to do and solve issues in their communities, right? And Afrolink gave us 80% scholarship for these students. So we really have people, like I said, it's 80%. The certification is going for $50, and the students were only able to pay $10, but some couldn't pay even the $10, which is subsidized. So we appreciate the scholarships, but in the event that we get companies or big organizations that can collaborate with us to pay or to sponsor the full scholarship to the children who are in need of this training, then that will be a very big opportunity for us. And we also have similar scholarships that we are rolling out to other countries besides Zimbabwe. And this is 100% scholarship, which was granted by Afrolynk as well to 300 students. And to us, this is an opportunity that we don't want Afrolink only to sponsor these things. We are trying to grow, we are trying to grow Factory24, but if we are to have more organizations funding children in disadvantaged communities and giving them scholarship to learn on Factory24, and this is for the certification. So those are the opportunities that we are looking into. And we also want to collaborate with organizations and corporates to equip our students as well with the necessary skills. And we are looking also at collaborating with other organizations to give us entrepreneurship opportunities for our tech developers. Like I told you, we now have tech development communities in 4 countries, but these guys are still learning online only, and they don't have opportunities to go and learn even more in other companies, like when they are given opportunities like internship or apprenticeship. So we are looking as well at getting opportunities to say we've got 2 students who are in this development community. They are into chatbot development. They can go and be placed in a company which is big, which is doing the similar thing, and they learn more on how to run the business and also grow their careers in that line of business. We are looking also at partnering with um, other internet service providers in other countries. I spoke about Econet. This impact is only in Zimbabwe, but like I told you, we are in 10 countries. So in all those 10 countries, if we are to have internet service providers giving young people affordable internet access, and especially to women and young people, I'm sure we are going to utilize those opportunities to the fullest. So yeah, those are the opportunities and collaborations that we are looking for, and that we would really appreciate if any company out there can offer us.
Thank you very much. I think that was I love what you do. I am looking forward for what is going to be in the future, and I think Ray, you as well are keen on seeing how Factory24 is going to become bigger and bigger, and how we can do an impact all together. We have one question from. Wait, sorry. From Simanga, how do entrepreneurs benefit from Factory24 after they have graduated? I think you touched it a little bit, the theme, and you said it before now that also a collaboration with other enterprises or corporates would be a idea or a possibility.
It's fine. Usually, when these entrepreneurs join or enroll in this course, I tell them not to look at the opportunities to do the course, but they have to first look at the course to see what is actually going to benefit them first, right? Like I told you, we have so many people who are doing business wrongly, and what is very important to me is doing your business right, following the proper channels, producing products to suit people's needs, right? So if an entrepreneur gets into the training with that in mind, that training has to help him to get more opportunities besides the opportunities which come with Afrobeat. So it's not an automatic case to say if you do our training, you're going to enjoy these opportunities. They are subject to, people have to pitch. For example, if you want to go to the Afrobeat conference, you have to pitch your business, and every successful pitch is the one which is going to be selected, and that is the person who is going to be maybe sponsored to go to the conference. But that should not be a derailing factor to entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs should know that this course is ideally to make them better in their businesses. You know, the topics which are there are rich in information. People don't know how to manage their finances. They don't know anything about financial literacy. They don't know anything about accounting. And as young entrepreneurs in Africa, if we don't know how to manage our accounts in our businesses, How then are we going to grow? How then are we going to even attract potential investors? So that on its own, the cost content on its own should be a push factor. Don't be pushed by saying, you know what, Afrolink, you're going to get this and that. Yes, you're going to get this as long as you excel in all areas that are required for you to get those opportunities. But now there are opportunities like mentorship, that is open to everyone. We've got group mentorship programs that we have rolled out, and they are running smoothly every week. We have an expert in different areas. We had an expert in financial literacy. This week, we actually had an expert in branding and business etiquette. That on its own doesn't need money. Just because that you have been certified an Afrolink alumni, then you have to actually be there to attend the mentorship programs, you know. And I'm sure there are certain projects which are being worked on, like the marketplace, where people in Africa are going to post their products on a broad marketplace, which is open to people who are in Europe to see their products in everything. So to me, that should be a push factor. Don't look at the opportunities that Afrolink is bringing, because you might not enjoy the one that you want, like going to the conference, but there are so many things that you can actually benefit from.
So because we've been speaking about potential collaboration with corporates, Ray, you've mentioned it before, and also in the previous talks before, you're having an event, I heard, in June?
Yes. So, I mean, some of you might be saying, okay, like, how do I now get into this collaboration with Airbus? How can I be working on, on Earth observation data or satellite images, or how we call it, remote sensing? So actually, we have this program running 12 weeks. So we are halfway through the program, and we want to showcase these startups to the whole world, because we believe that in order for so many people to engage with these type of opportunities, you need to be also able to see what others are doing. I think some of the greatest learnings actually come from seeing what others in your own space are doing. And by this, I don't see it as as competing, but actually you're learning from other entrepreneurs about what are you best at, what is your best skill. So we are having this showcase in 2 weeks on the 11th of June, and you can either stay, you can read it on our LinkedIn page or Twitter page, or from our implementation partner, Co-Creation Hub, CC Hub. So this is it will be posted today, and from that moment on, you can register for the event, and you can check it out. You can listen to the pitches from the 10 startups that are currently in the program, and you will see how these startups that have products already, they are in business already, but they want to get ahead of the competition. They want to even create bigger change. So that's why they're integrating satellite images and the analytics of satellite images in their business models. So 11th of June is when you will be having the chance to see that. And for the ones that want to work with us in the future, from that moment on, we will be also announcing probably later in the year or next year, we will have other programs where more startups can join. But I think 11th of June is the first time to really, to see what's going on.
We're kind of running out of time, but we have one more very important question, Ray. This is towards you. In which African countries are you right now? And do you deal only with startups or also as well with entrepreneurs?
For the second one, I assume the difference that you make between entrepreneur and startup is entrepreneur, you are a single founder and you are running your business. And so that one, no, we are not dealing with single entrepreneurs, because we want teams. Because as I mentioned, the businesses that we are looking at are usually quite complex businesses. So I doubt and I do not believe that a single person can run such a business. That's why we are looking for startups. We usually say early stage startups, but then it depends on the definition of early stage. So we really look at the team, we see what skills are there, and then how can actually they make a difference when they join onto the program. Now, related to your question of countries, we don't really have a country focus. So any startup from any country can actually join our program. The Africa for Future program is focused on African entrepreneurs. So these are, what we require is that one of the founders is African, and also that the business is registered in Africa. That's one of the requirements of the Africa for Future program. And we are, but really anybody can apply. Yeah, we don't really have a country focus per se, no.
Okay, I thank you both of you very much. Sorry. If there is anyone who wants to reach out to you, feel free to share your contact details, social media, and also tomorrow we will share the events that Rey has been speaking about. Thank you very much for all the views, and greetings to all of you from us to Hamburg and Zimbabwe.
Thank you. And bye.
Thank you.